Hello, good morning. Good morning, Soumya.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Glad to have you here. All
Yeah.
right. Have you joined for your new job, Soumya? Not yet?
No, not yet. My joining is from 3rd November. That is from Monday.
Ah, okay. Awesome.
Actually, I have some network issues, so I cannot open my camera. Is it okay?
Yes, if it is a network issue, then sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
but
is
when
actually a
it's,
network issue. That's why I
yeah,
joined 2-3 minutes late because I was facing some issue.
no problem. You can continue like this. Yes,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Okay, I think let's start. We're already almost 5 minutes down. We'll start so that those who are joined on time should not suffer and will respect. And I think those who want to join, they can keep on joining. So very warm welcome. We are starting our technical communication module 1 today. And let's start. I think we will be covering a little bit of basics as well because we do have some people who are from joining really from the beginning who are not maybe aware about what technical communication or technical writing is all about. But today we are going to cover mainly the introduction part, the overview of technical communication, and we'll touch upon the user context and user analysis, like how to understand about the users, right? So this is what is going to happen. Let's start. First of all, um, okay. Well, how many of you have heard this? Cook until done. Those who have tried some recipes or something, some instructions. Have you ever met this? Cook until done. We can keep it interactive. So please, we are very few people here. So I would like to have the interaction. You can keep your mics on until we are too many, which I'm not, of course, expecting. So yes.
Yeah. So this means that you have to, keep working until you are done. So example of this is like food, right? So if you want to cook delicious food, that means you have to cook until it is properly baked and which can be eaten.
Yeah, but there is a little bit of ambiguity. What do you mean by done? Like,
Actually,
that-
cook already means done. Because
Hmm,
it if it is
no, it's
cooked,
like cook is like cooking is a process, right? It's a verb. We are doing something. We are making something, isn't it?
so if we say the chicken is cooked, so
That
that
is
means
cooked.
that
Yeah.
yeah. So it is already done, right? Matlab,
Yeah, that is cooked. That's the state where chicken has reached. The chicken is cooked. But before that, it was being cooked, right? It was there.
yeah,
It was in the
it was
process,
being
right? Right? Yes. So that is here it is cook is verb, right? Cook until done, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is that there is a little bit of ambiguity. Instead of saying that cook until the maybe the chicken is soft, you're giving correct instruction, right? When you're talking about cook until the vegetables are soft enough or the color has changed or this has happened, so you will try to give that right instruction instead of just saying done, because the done word in itself is not defined. Like, what do you call done? For me, done could be something else. For a particular dish, done could be something else. And for something, maybe, for another dish, done could be something different. So it is a little ambiguous here. So we have kind of seen these kind of instructions, and we'll see little more. We'll go deeper into these kind of things, and let's see how many of us we can catch. Before that, I will just briefly introduce myself. Who am I, and why I'm here? And so I am a linguist by education. I am a Japanese language expert. Like, I started my career as a translator, and gradually I started documenting things for Japan initially, and then for US as well. Things changed. I became the editor. I am also editor by heart. Like, everything. It just doesn't pass my eyes if there is something that is not clear, or that is not, uh, has any kind of these things, grammatical issues. It could be structural issues and all those things. So it does, hit me hard. And then I am also a trainer, which I got opportunities as a freelancer when I was doing technical writing. I was asked by the clients themselves that, okay, just train our teams as well, so that they also get to a level, they get to understand the nitty-gritties of documentation. And that's how my trainer journey had started. I worked full time for around 14, 15 years. And after that, 14 years. And then after that, I turned into a freelancer, as I'm also a mother, and I had to balance that out. And this is what I do. I am from Delhi originally, but right now I'm in Sweden. Okay, and I'm taking your session from Sweden. It's early morning here, 6:40 a.m. And we are starting and sitting down here to learn about technical writing. So apart from this, I am also, when you're not seeing me doing technical writing stuff, I'm mostly doing thinking, health, and well-being, yoga. I also run a yoga session in the morning. We just had it. So we also have, every morning we have a yoga session. You'll usually often see me talking about it on LinkedIn, and maybe sometimes in groups as well, about naturopathy. And nature photography is the other thing that I am really fond of. Yeah. And so you'll find me capturing photographs of flowers, of trees, and all those stuff. So that is my hobby. So that is more about myself. I think Mahadev had joined when he was. Uh, mm, mm, mm. Okay. I had allowed, or I rejected. I don't know. Okay. I think he didn't join. Anyways, someone had come, but all right. So that is more about myself. And what are we going to learn today? That's the introduction. And as we are a very small group, I would like that maybe you can also switch on your mics and briefly introduce yourselves, because, yeah, so that we know each other and interact better during the session. So whom do
Shall
we
I
start
start?
with? Yes, Soumya, sure.
So, hi everyone. My name is Soumya Srivastav, and recently, I'm going to join as a technical writer at Barcode India, which is based in Gurugram. and I am new to this profession. I am looking forward to upskill myself and learn through this course and from other resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Soumya. Thank you so much. And we would love to hear about your journey as well. Like, how did you crack your uh, technical writing interviews? And we'll hear
Yeah,
from you
sure.
a little later. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I was from non-technical writer background. Previously, I have never worked in technical writing. I have mostly written SEO blogs or marketing content. I was mostly into that profession previously. So my past 1 year, 2 year experience was completely around marketing content. So yeah, I'll surely share my journey. Actually, I was slightly busy during this past Diwali week. I was in my hometown. Surely, I'll get time and write my
Sure.
entire blog on it and share with you all.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes, yes. Before you go there, we'll catch you here. Don't worry. Yes. So next, I think we have another junior member here, Mahadev. He's also a fresher. Hey, good morning, Mahadev. Please switch on your cameras if you can. If you're there, it's good to be talking to faces rather than just the names. Are you able to speak, Mahadev? Uh-uh. Okay. I think he's unmuted, but we're not able to hear him. Okay, shall we move? Okay, by the time you fix it, Priyanka, Jairam, one of you.
Hello everyone, good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Priyanka, please.
Hello, myself Priyanka Chauhan. I have 2 years, around 2 years experience from Tech Mahindra. Previously, I never experienced or never have any idea regarding the technical writing. I would like to learn technical writing skill for my future journey.
Sure, sure, Priyanka. Thank you so much. Yes, Jairam.
Yeah. So hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Jairam, and I have currently uh, 13 years of experience. So I'm from mechanical branch. I started my career with design earlier, and around 5 to 6 years I was working as in design field. I worked for HAL, that is aerospace industry, and then gradually I moved to documentation because I realized that I'm not good at designing factors. So I thought, I understand the designs, but I wanted to switch to a documentation kind of package where I don't have to use too much of brain in like how we need to use in design. So I gradually moved into documentation and bill of material. So last 5 years I worked in renewable energy. That is, I work for LM Wind Power, that is a GE company now. And there I was writing work instruction, that is the procedure how to manufacture the blades, wind turbine blades. Yeah.
Okay,
And from the last 3 years, I am into Siemens Gamesa, which is also a wind turbine company. And I just upgraded the product, I would say. So from blades, I have moved to the nacelle. So it's the next part. And here I have got an opportunity to learn about technical writing. That is also, like we call it as technical writing, and we write as a assembly instruction here. Okay.
okay,
And apart from that, currently I am actually leading the team. That means I'm taking care of the team, I'm running the projects, but I'm not executing the part now. So I'm no more an executor in that. So I thought I should check something about the software technical writing. So that's the reason I found Jyoti's you know LinkedIn thing, and then I thought, yeah, we should try something new. So let's see how it goes.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, this is, I think I have met a few people from no aeronautics, technical writing, and mechanical technical writing over the LinkedIn only. But yes, this is the first time that I'm talking face to face with someone who is, yes, it's really glad to know and would like to learn more about this industries as well, like how technical writing works there and all the stuff. And we'll do that gradually, probably. Yes. So Mahadev, I think he's facing some network issues, so he's not able to unmute and come on camera. Um, you can, whenever you feel like the network is comfortable, you can. I would like it to be more interactive, so just be there. Okay. All right. So now, the agenda of today, we will be talking about the introduction of the profession. As we can see, we have few people here who are, and we will be starting with some of the instructions only, because in technical writing, our life revolves around a lot of, you know, instructions that we are writing all the time. And I would like you all to participate and tell me what do you think about this statement. Press the reset button to restore normal operation. Okay, we'll be just exercising our brain, just recharging it before we actually dive into the concepts here. So press the reset button to restore normal operation. Do you find anything odd here? Is it fine? Is it the instruction? Anyone?
Are we giving more of information, or just press the reset button that gives uh, kind of detail? Like I mean, like it gives some information, right? If you click on reset, that means it will reset. Should we
Yeah.
write to restore normal operation? I
Mm-hmm.
am little in doubt, like whether we have to write, give more information like this.
Yeah. So
Just my assumption.
exactly. So there are two things over here. We are saying press the reset button. So we are saying that press the reset button to reset. It's almost like same. And when you say to restore normal operation, what do you really mean about by the normal operation? Okay. So normal operation, again, like we were talking about, cook until done. Done was not defined here. Normal operation again is not something defined. You could it could be like press the reset button to restore the default settings or something, where you know that there is a particular configuration where we started and now we are resetting to the. So it is again about ambiguity, and we are kind of saying the same thing: reset to restore something. So yeah. And there are other things as well. For example, we'll talk about the language as we go on the course. For example, what should be used exactly? Press use karna hai, or yeah, else some other term should be used, because sometimes we use press, sometimes we use enter, sometimes we use click the reset button, sometimes some other terms. So which terms do we use? Which are the standards that we have set as per the style guides that are being commonly used. So commonly, if it is a software, we normally use click the reset button, not the press the reset button. Okay. So these kind of things also we are going to go do it during the course. Run the file and follow the steps on the screen. I'd like to hear from someone else. Soumya, Priyanka, can you see there is how this instruction, if you get this instruction on your screen, run the file and follow the steps on the screen, what kind of feeling, what kind of thing will it be? Will you be able to?
It is giving two instruction. That means first you have to run the file and you have to follow the instructions given. So you have to follow what is there in that file.
Yes. Soumya, you were also saying something.
Actually, I was thinking.
Okay, thinking.
I'm not
Okay,
unable to conclude anything actually.
all right. Yes, Priyanka.
Uh, yes, ma'am. The run the file means we need to execute something. Means this we can take it as a instruction. First, we need to run the file and then follow the steps.
Yes, and follow the steps on the screen. Absolutely. Of course, it is saying run the file, but usually it will make only sense if we have already defined the file in the previous step. Until we have not done that, the instruction is incomplete until we are really saying that run the file, maybe something xyz dot exe. Second point, like Jairam said, it is giving two instructions in a single step. And if sometimes you can give, if the instructions are not very long, run the file and follow the steps. But it's may just the second instruction is also not very clear. Like follow the steps on the screen. You're leaving the customer in the middle. Yes, Jairam, you want to contribute something?
Yeah,
You say.
I also wanted to tell that it is better to define one step or one action at a time, so
At a
that
time.
people have that they can follow the instructions clearly. In this case, we can see like two instructions or two actions given here, and the first instruction that run the file itself doesn't seems to be complete. Like as you said, like we should have something called .exe file, or like give the hyperlink to the file, or
Yeah,
blah blah blah,
complete
something.
information should be there. Yes, the
Yes, so
information
that,
is not complete.
yeah, so always as a technical writer, we need to be uh, write the instruction in such a way that any layman person can read and it can follow. So yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely correct. So run the complete file and follow the steps on the screen, two instructions at a time. Then ambiguity is there because the file is not defined, which file to be executed. Follow the steps on the screen also leaves the customer in the middle, right? Like it's not very clear. Okay, so sometimes yes, you will get some steps on the screen, but what exactly we are going to do, it's better to complete. Okay, and before turning on the unit, be sure to connect the wire, which may be red or black depending on model, to the correct terminal. Oh, how is this?
This will surely confuse people, because any warning should be given before the statement. If not, he may not follow what exactly I have to do, and he would have performed the action in that case. So it can cause harm or hazard to that particular person. So
Yes.
always we have to give a warning statement before you are telling something, because this is something related to electrical thing, right? Connect the wire. So
Mm,
we already telling something like before turning on the unit, be sure to connect the wire, which may be black, red or black, depending on the model, to the correct terminal. So instead, we can give some hazard statement, which says that you should be alert, and then we can define clearly about what we have to do.
yeah, absolutely. For me, it's like the statement itself is more dangerous here because it has a lot of things, not just one. One,
Yes,
like Jara. Yes, Soumya?
like the phrase maybe red or black is very dangerous and hazardous. The
Absolutely.
person can, the non-technical person can confuse that which wire he or she should use.
Absolutely.
Like,
So there is
can,
ambiguity in itself because it's not clear
yeah.
which wire to actually connect, and it can be really fatal in a lot of cases. And anything else?
Yeah, ma'am. We can take it as a warning or error.
Yes, yes, it should be highlighted as a warning or this or some kind of error. So before turning on the unit, be sure to connect the wire, which may be red, black, on depending on the model, to the correct terminal. First of all, it should be a caution. It should be highlighted in different way. Then the hazard will come before, like that should be highlighted before turning on the unit, and it should be very concise also, because it's a very long sentence, and it will not, like users these days, they will not probably go ahead and read the whole thing. So the main point should be up written up front. So connect the wire, like make sure you connect the wire, not like which may be red or black. Connect the black wire, depending, again depending on the model, to the correct, this is completely incorrect, to the correct terminal, and which one is the correct terminal, that also should be mentioned. So there is a lot of ambiguity in this single sentence, and we do, when we are not aware of these things, so what is correct, what is normal, that must be defined. Okay, so when we are not aware, we do write these kind of things. So as a technical writer, it is very important that we are you know getting over these ambiguity. We are not leaving things to the user. We are not assuming that user already knows which is the correct terminal, left terminal, right terminal, what is it. Okay, so there are a lot of things over here, and sometimes we also get these kind of, if someone, I don't know, now IKEA is there in India as well, and they have these kind of documentations where people are left to the diagrams and images, and are assumed to just follow the instructions using the drawings and this thing, instead of explaining them. So you will get often see these kind of things with their furnitures, IKEA furnitures and everything. So it's very famous example of, no, yes, it is not dependent on the language. It has its pros and cons, like just describing it with the help of images. But then it does assume a few things that, okay, user is able to understand, and it's not quite accessible as well, in a lot of ways. So from this, I think we have exercised a lot about what coders are. I think must have got some idea, like we are, how do we write, what is the writing process that a technical writer has to go. So we have just got a little hint of that, and here we start. What is technical communication? And I'll go by first the Wikipedia definition. It's a communication of technical subject matter, such as engineering, science, technology, content, and the largest part of it tends to be technical writing. So technical writing, technical communication, and technical writing sometimes are used interchangeably, but they are not really the same thing. Technical writing is the largest subset of technical communication, you can say. So any idea what technical communication is all about, what technical writing is all about? Okay, so yeah, yes, Sharon, I think.
I was just thinking to give a little definition.
Yes.
Uh, so we are so technical communication. It might differ from content to content, I would say. So there when it comes to engineering, so the technical communication is like you are informing or sending information to the audience. They're saying that, okay, this is the information about this particular thing. Okay, and when it comes to science, we are giving the what is the word I'm looking for? The the technical data about the composition of the, like medical writing. I'm trying to tell. Um,
Mhm.
and the medical terminologies we are trying to communicate. So, and when it comes to technical can be like software. So we are trying to communicate to the team in terms of codes, or
Mm.
the, like the words which you usually used for software technical writing. So
Absolutely.
so overall we are communicating the technicality to the audience, with respect to the field, I would say.
Yes, I guess, absolutely. So, in one way or the other, we are trying to communicate what is what are the technical details of anything. Here, by definitions, we definitely talk about, engineering, science, technology, and we always get that feeling that it is only about, the technical products somehow. But if you uh, if you really look at it from my point of view, like how I think, first of all, technical communication, technical writing, let's just clear that out and then we come to this point. So technical communication, I believe, like even if you're sending any kind of technical information in any form, it could be, research papers, it could be white papers, it could be even an email, a communication that is happening internally, right? um, so that is
In
technical
visual form as
communication
well, like in
in visual form as well.
yeah, in form of
Like,
videos or any other form. So it can be
absolutely.
at any way.
It can be in any way. So it can be a visual, it can be an email, it can be a video. Yes. So we are communicating something technical. Okay. And in between that, there is this small subset which is talking about technical writing, which is of course about the written instructions. Okay. And sometimes technical writing is also again interchangeably used with documentation. Okay, but I would say, take again, documentation is one part of technical writing. It's again a subset of technical writing, but they are also used interchangeably. um okay, now what technical writing is, like we're discussing, it is a specialized form of communication used by industrial and scientific organizations. Again, this is a Wikipedia definition. We'll break it down clearly and accurately convey complex information to customers, employees, assembly workers, engineers, scientists, and other users who may reference this form of content to complete a task or research or subject. All right. So, mm, for me, when I see technical writing, when they're saying industrial and scientific organizations, well, yes, more of it is related to scientific organizations, technological products, and all these things. But say we are talking about maybe cooking only, right? So when we are talking about cooking, there is a general thing like do this, do this, do this, do that, right? That is one thing that you've told the recipe and you've done. But when we are talking about even deeper details, you're talking about the techniques of cooking, you're talking about something that is deeper in the details of a particular subject. Okay. Um, that of course that is also, that's not something that a layman would be reading. That's again a specific information. So of course we are not going to talk about it, but when it comes to technical writing, instead of just limiting it to the technology products, anything that talks about the specifics of a particular domain is technical writing for me. Okay. Yes, we here mainly deal with most of the technological products, mechanical products. Sometimes everything has a user manual, we are saying, and everywhere the documentation is important. So technical writing is, when we talk in general, usually boils down to this thing only, that we are documenting something, we are giving users some instruction. Our readers could be the end users, or sometimes the developers. When we are talking about softwares, there are developers in the middle. And also sometimes the documentation is created for internal communication. It's not like we are just creating the documents for the end users only all the time, but it can be also part of technical writing, is also part of the internal communication. Like we do write SOPs internally, the steps and procedures, and then we have our internal documents. All these things are the part of technical writing. So if you're writing test specifications or maybe product specifications, that is also part of technical writing. And most of the places, in some places, the respective persons, business analysts or the testing a tester will be writing these. But in some organizations, they do hire technical writers as well to, you know, give them a proper shape, where the requirement specifications are written by a technical writer, proper technical writer. So that is also part of technical writing. Now the technical documentation, where we describe, explain, or instruct regarding an object, a product, a system, a procedure, about, or such as its parts. It could be its assembly, it could be the installation procedure, it could be the maintenance of that particular thing. These could be FAQs, right? And some walkthroughs for complex scenarios. So all these things are part of technical documentation. Now, documentations are written for company's product or service. It includes requirements like docs, design documentations, products, architectures, user guides, installation, configuration manuals, troubleshooting, and just like I told. And it can be divided into two major categories. One is system documentation and the other one is user documentation. And when we talk of system documentation is mainly the internal documentations that we create. For example, the product specifications, design document, product architectures, any kind of roadmaps, SKUs, all these things will be part of system documentation. While the most of the technical writing industry is talking about the other part, which is the user documentation. So we will be dealing more with user documentation in our course, but it is really depending and creating that mindset about how to write something. So when you know this, you will be good at any kind of documentation, so system documentation as well as the user documentation. So user documentation, when we say, we are referring to the end user, the documentation that is written for the end users. That is, again, user manuals, the installation guides, the quick start guides, the troubleshooting manuals, the FAQs. So there are different, all these guides available that are offered to the user with the product, so that user can easily work out and solve his problems, right? Yeah, very basic question. And coming back to you guys, what is the purpose of a documentation? What is the main purpose of a documentation, I would rather say?
To help user
Yes,
regarding if user wants to install any software, then documentation helps user to follow the instruction and then install software.
yes. So that's, of course, a very specific scenario where in user is installing something, you have to help them with the instructions to install something. And if he's doing something else, you're giving that solution. So what is the common purpose of the documentation? There's only one purpose that it serves.
Providing
Yes,
the
Jairam.
information, providing the information about the product to the user or the audience.
Mhm. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, that's there. Okay. Of course. So, but when we look at it deeper, what we are trying to do by providing that information, by giving those instructions, what are we trying to do?
So that a person can individually like operate or use the product by himself by looking or by following the uh, instructions given in the document. So you don't need any special training, because you have written everything in this document, like how this product should be used and what are the features, what is the pros, what is con, everything will be written in this document. So it is like a guide for anyone who reads this can use this product.
Absolutely. Yeah. 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 So, yes, if we have to say it in one single statement, so this is not, we are giving this information. Yes, a lot of things are there, like even books and other things are providing some kind of information. Yes. Um, but the core of it is like to solve the user's problem, right? So no one is coming to your documentation to read it for fun like we do the other things, but the core of it, installation or any kind of guide, any kind of we were talking about all these things. What we are trying to do basically is we are trying to solve the user's problem. So user will come to the documentation only when he is facing some issue. No one will come just to, so if he has to install, his problem is to how to install, right? So we are helping him solve that user problem. He might have got into some other problem. He wants to learn how to use a particular feature. Then only he will come to the documentation. So documentation is not something that someone will read for fun. It is mainly a reference guide, like Jaram said. It is a reference guide where user comes when he wants to solve a problem, right? So hamara, all the focus, I hope everybody understands a little bit of Hindi. Sometimes I do tend to speak in between. Yeah. All right. So so that this is the core of the whole thing. And everything in documentation will revolve around this fact. So this is not a very small statement. We are here to solve users' problem, and that is the core agenda of this thing, right? All right. Now, whether we should have documentation or not, I think a lot of organizations are still thinking they do not have the documentation, or even if they have, they will just write a little bit and in a random way. Maybe the developer himself will write something and they will ship it. It's just a checklist that okay, documentation is there, and there's no proper procedure, or there is no proper guidelines, a proper structure in which the documentation is delivered at many places. So do you think it saves them cost? Oh, the answer is here.
Well, from my point of view, if they do not provide the document, say they don't want to have document, then uh, the cost they may incur is more. And if they have a good documentation, then uh, then there will not have to worry much more about the cost of repairs or something, because if the end user is not using the product correctly, then they'll come and complain to the like the product owner, saying
The
that,
support,
hey,
yes.
Yes, hey, I took this, but I am not able to find, or it's not eco-friendly, or it's not friendly to use, and blah blah blah. So that time the product owner will think, yeah, we should have had a good documentation so that we would not have to face this kind of issue.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if there is no documentation or there's poor documentation which is not helping the user solve his problems, what will the user do? One, he will reach out to the customer support. So in case documentation is not there, your support queries will increase, your support cost will increase, right? Second, internally also, you will have to spend more time teaching internal staff, learning about the product. They will spend more time on training. Third, your user who is not satisfied with the customer because he has to with the product because the documentation is not there, will probably not even choose the product next time or will not recommend anybody to use your product next time, right? The frustrated user causes more problems than actually giving you good revenue, right? And instead of getting money, you will be losing out on it. So the cost of poor documentation or no documentation is more for a business. It's a loss instead of rather spending on and paying on a good, technical writer and get a good documentation that actually helps and serves the user solve his problem, right? Okay. Now, how documentation helps? क्या क्या कर रही है documentation? It's guiding the user. It's bridging the product and the user. It's bridging the developer, whosoever is the creator of the product, and the user. It is a bridge between them. It improves the user experience. Of course, a user who is getting his answers ready in the documentation, when he goes, he's able to find them, he's able to easily navigate to them, and he's able to solve his problem without sending that email, without dialing that call and waiting for the answers. It improves the user experience. uh, and it also supports the internal training. Say you have hired a person, a new person, you have to train the person from the scratch if you do not have any documentation ready. Okay. On the other hand, if your documentation is ready, you can ask the person to try it out, try the product, and go through the documentation if he wants to learn something. So it becomes far more easier as compared to um, sitting with the person and training the person on a product. And same is the case with user as well. Instead of going and giving demos and doing all those things and solving those problems for them, maybe even if it is through the webinars or any kind of online means also, it will not solve the problem. There are certain things that will be solved only through the documentation, and user would like to solve it by himself. So you have to enable the user to solve their problems by themselves, and that's what the documentation is doing. And you have to reduce the load on support staff. Your support cost goes down. It also ensures safety and compliance because you have to give user those cautions, those notes that okay, this particular thing must be done this way instead. In otherwise, it might end up in something else. So those safety and compliance from that perspective as well, it is important that we give this information to the user. It builds the brand trust. And of course, there is no question when the user experience improves, when the user is being helped, is being served with the right documentation, it it creates an impression of credibility from the brand side that the brand cares about the customer, right? So it builds the brand trust and it adds to the business value automatically. When all these things are in place, your business grows gradually. Right? Any questions so far? Any point that is not clear? We are on still on basics right now. Shall we move ahead? Yeah. Yes. All right. You have a question. You'll not be able to submit because we are not joining through Canva, but yeah, a short question, we can do it verbally or in chat. What is the most important factor of an effective user documentation?
Second and the last one, clear and concise language and accurate information.
Most important. You have to tell one.
Clear and concise or accurate information.
Accurate
Accurate.
information.
Yes, accurate information. Absolutely correct. Yes, it has to be the accurate information, of course, because if the information is not accurate, no language can help, right? So yes, the information has to be, the accuracy is the most important factor here. For a random thing, we are going to do the characteristics of documentation. So anybody, I just got to hear like clear and concise language, and we have accurate information. So you do have idea about, of course, a good documentation, right? So let's talk a little more about what other things make a documentation a good documentation. So, what are the other factors that make documentation a good documentation? Clear and concise language, accurate information, of course. These are the two things. Is there anything else that you can think of?
Technical jargon, like we should use what do you call, easy understandable words instead of giving a complicated name uh, in the document. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Right. So you should avoid technical jargons and keep the documentation simple and clear.
Uh, One
Yes.
thing more I wanted to add, I was asked the same question in the interview round, and during that round, I told all the 7 C's of technical communication, that is clarity, conciseness, completeness, correctness, consistency, courtesy, and consideration, which I read through some resource, and I also gave examples for each.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So when you're saying courtesy, right, and consideration, what
Yeah.
does it mean? Yes. Yes.
It simply means that whatever we are writing, we should not blame the user, and we should be polite and reader friendly. We should be in a respectful tone. Like, uh, like suppose we are giving any warning to the user, then we should be kind. We should not blame the user.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have forgotten the example. I'll just
Mm.
need time to remember the example. I have learned it from some resource only.
No
So,
problem. No problem. Now
but
you.
we should be kind. That's what
Yes.
I learned in the 7 C's.
Right. Right. So, Soumya did mention consistency, uh, clarity, conciseness, of course, and this consideration. And what was the term? We are not doing it in the C's. We usually talk about 3 C's, usually clarity, conciseness, and consistency. But yes, some places 7 C's are also there, and sometimes they include credibility in that. Sometimes the other things. All right. So apart from that, these things as well, there are more. So first thing, like she said, yes, you should be kind. You should be consideration. I would say courtesy, yes, it should be, you can say that you should be kind and you should be gentle, and that's a normal thing. Like in any kind of documentation, you'll think about that. Apart from that, when you're saying kind, you also must have in your mind that the person, you must understand the other person and write the documentation according to that. So again, the focus is on the user. First, the documentation should be user focused and not the product focused. And sometimes in software industries, even the developer focused documentations are there, where what developer is thinking, that is given in the documentation. Instead of doing that, you have to keep it user focused. Clear, we have already done. It should be well structured. It should be logically organized. Logically organized, when we say, um, now the definition of this is changing a little bit, because earlier it was more like, you must write in the order of what user will go through and how humans will navigate during a particular, when he's looking for some topic and something. We used to talk about it like that, but now, because a lot of AI and chatbots are also reading, so this particular well structured, let's just thoda sa that thing is shifting a little bit. Although the focus again here also is on going to be on the user only, because on the other side of the chatbot, it's the user only who is going to finally consume the information. But the definition of structured is changing a little. And yes, when we say findable or navigable, it's the same thing. So if the user is not able to search for the information that he's trying, find the information that he's searching for, your documentation is nowhere. Like, it's not solving the user's problem, right? So your documentation should be searchable. It should give the solution to the answer. Accuracy is definitely at the core of it. Without accurate information, it doesn't really help. Consistent, yes, it should be consistent. The terminology should be consistent. The structures should be consistent. Accessible, it should be usable by everyone. Consider, when you're saying consideration, it's like you keep everybody in mind, like who are going to read your documentation, and that's where the accessibility comes. So yes, it has to be accessible, up to date. The latest information should go in there, and it should be supported with visuals for better readability, for the access, for making it more accessible. If you give visuals, it makes it more accessible. It should use diagrams, screenshots, and of course makes it more interesting at the same time, right? So these are some of the characters of the good documentation, and we will be covering them as we go and how to make that. So as I said, we start with, everything that we'll do in this course will be depending upon mainly the learning the mindset of keeping the user in the center. Okay. Now we shift to the next question. What is the most important aspect in documentation? Anyone?
Maintaining consistency and clarity.
Yeah, it's one of the features, of course, of a good documentation, maintaining the clarity. And yeah, sorry, what did you say? I missed that. Forgot that. Yes. Anything else? What is the most important aspect in documentation? We just discussed many times over until now.
Information
Yes, 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 yes. Information, and information is for
to audience. Who
to
is
the
our
audience.
audience?
Yes, yes. Who is the audience? And yeah, so what is the most important aspect for me? When you think, I mean, what I'm trying to do here is that instill that thought of being, user focused. So every question, everything, we are coming back to the same point that user is the most important person, and that is what we will keep in mind all the time. So user again is the most important aspect of any documentation, that you have to keep that one user in your mind, that how the user is going to use your documentation, and that is how you create a successful documentation. Okay, so who is the user? Why is he coming to your documentation? Why is he, what is he looking for? And where is he accessing the information? Okay, um, these are some of the questions that you must answer when you are starting to document a new product, and some of them even when you're starting to document a new feature as well. So who is going to use it? Why is he going to use this feature or the product? And what is he looking for? Why is he here? That also is one of the whys. Why is he here in the documentation looking for something? Because he's struggling with something, he's facing some issue. And where is he accessing the information? That will also depend, yeah, will determine that what kind of documentation you're going to offer. Okay, what kind of structure you're going to offer, whether you're going to give the documentation in the way videos, whether you're going to help the user with the tips, or you're going to give the text, you're going to give the installation guide or the troubleshooting guide, or something else, right? So all these factors will combined define that how your user documentation should actually. So again, know your user. Documentation is not about what we know or about what the developer is telling, because in most of the organizations, um, software developers, or they are what you can say. Uh, I'm not getting the word, but yes, the focus is to satisfy the developers sometimes, because developers are the giving information, they have the upper hand, right? So they are the superlative here. So instead of focusing what you know about the documentation, it's all about what the user needs to do, and that is what we are going to learn today. Like, what all do we need to know about the user? And this brings us to a very important concept where we will be working on building the user persona. Okay, what is the user persona? Do you know? Anyone? What is a user persona? So before we start documenting, we must know who is going to use, right? Like, who is going to use, as in what that person does, what is, their profile, like, is it who is going to use that product, what is their age, where do they live, what do they do, what are the goals that they're trying to achieve, what is the environment that they are using the product in, or what are their expectations and behavior, and what are the limitations, what are the problems that they face, what are the constraints that they have so that your product and your documentation both can address to that. So we will be doing a user persona. We'll be making these user persona, and okay, just again. Now, when a documentation is assigned to you, like you have to document a particular product or a feature, no one will ask you to do this exercise. Okay, user persona. Okay, they'll not break down the task for you. This is your job to do the breakdown, and this is completely a technical writer's job to do the user analysis, to do the product analysis, and to do the even the competitive analysis. So we will be going through them gradually. So first step is the user analysis. Like you should know how what your audience is, who is going to use the product, who is going to read your documentation, so that you know how are you going to structure your documentation, what kind of terminologies you are going to use, what kind of words you're going to use, what kind of information you're going to give. Okay, and what kind of even the font format, everything will depend upon the user persona. All right, and what it is all about. Has anybody done it before?
No, I have not come across this thing.
I
Okay.
have done this in marketing perspective, but not in technical writing perspective.
Yeah.
Like understanding the user and
Yes, but
their
if you
demographics. Mhm.
yes, if you look at it, if you look at the documentation also, we are writing it for the user only. It is uh, part of your marketing as well, in a way, not like you're selling it something, but it is a part of marketing as well, because if the documentation or the resources are not in place, or are not focused on the user, you, I mean, it will not serve the purpose, right? So basically, that person is the end consumer, is, so we should know that. So when you did it in your marketing, this thing, how did you do it, Soumya?
In the marketing perspective, we have to understand who are our target audience. Suppose if it is a B2B target audience, then the audience is quite mature, like the founders and C-suite executives. They are certainly assumed as very mature audience. So we analyze that, their age group, and what might be their background. Suppose we are providing technical services like AI, blockchain related services, in technology, so of course that person is a technically sound, we assume that. So we identify all the demographics of the person, basically their location, what might they are looking, what service they are looking for, what is their occupation. So just like it is written over here, role, occupation, age group, we analyze that of that person. We understand the targeted audience in marketing. That's
Yes,
what I.
yes. Yes, absolutely. So we should be knowing the demographics of the user, the profile, where is he going to use the information, what is he doing, first of all, what is his location, his role, his age group, what is the technical background, how much knowledge does he possess about a particular thing, right? And about the product. So that you can write your content depending on that. So as I told you that when you come to the documentation team, no, probably right now in very few companies you'll get to this user persona thing, but until or unless you do this activity, you will not be able to actually create something that will really solve the problem. Okay, so this small activity can help you understand your user, understand your, we'll get to the product thing as well. We'll do that as well, like how to do the product analysis. That will be done maybe tomorrow or later. So we'll be doing that. So today it's going to be the user persona. We will answer a few questions about a particular user. Okay, so what is their name, what is their role or occupation, where they're going to, who is the person who is going to use this product, with what is the age group, what is the technical background. So when we create a user persona, we give our user a name also. So where we are coming from, like you were saying that we do it in marketing. Similarly, it is also, the user persona is also done when a product is being created in the initial phases. Like you define a problem and then you create a product to solve that problem, right? Okay. So there also these user personas are created. Here, our product is our documentation. Until or unless we treat our documentation as a standalone product, and we are trying to solve a problem through our product, which is documentation. Similarly, when a product team is working on something, they will focus on a particular problem that they are trying to solve for the user through their product. So if I talk of these headphones, they are trying to solve a problem for me that I want to, hear clearly when attending the meetings, or maybe listening to music or something like that. So it is solving a problem for me, and there are more things attached to it. Right? We'll just do this activity in a minute. Before that, let's discuss what are the goals, and okay, what is the user type, who is going to use it, in what form. Sometimes in the case of software, you also have to see whether the person is an admin or a user, or a manager. Who is it who is going to use your product or read the documentation? Goals and challenges. What are the primary goals? What are the tasks they're trying to accomplish with the product? What are the outcomes they are seeking? What is the final end result that they are trying to? What are their challenges and pain points? What are their day-to-day issues? What are the issues that they are facing? What is their experience and training level? What is their knowledge level? So, for example, if you're writing about a software, does the user know that particular technology or doesn't know about that technology? So depending on that, your documentation will, you will define the topics in your documentation. You might have to give some background in some cases if the technology is too new and your user is not aware of that. But if the technology is old and you know that your user is, you assume that user will be knowing about these things, and you will start writing from there on. Okay, so it really depends what kind of experience and training your audience is bringing when he's using the product. What is the environment of use where the person is trying to access your documentation? How are they going to access the product? How are you going to access the documentation? What are the physical conditions? Noise hai, lightning hai, or maybe they're using it on a phone, or they are using it on a laptop, or in what way they are using your documentation or the product. Then comes the constraints. Do they have time pressure? Like, ये आजकल वैसे सबके पास ही होता है. No one is, everyone is tired of time. Language and literacy. So you have to see if you're maybe creating a product who is meant for maybe senior citizens, you'll have to write according to them, their language, their literacy level, or an audience that is there in the rural areas. You'll have to use the language as per them, as per their level of education and literacy. Accessibility needs. if they have any visual, auditory, or any kind of mobility challenges, depending on that as well, you will give the documentation. There will be preferences from the device perspective. You already did this. What is the user behavior? How are they engaging with the documentation? Do they read manuals or prefer quick help, or they want videos, or they want visuals, or maybe sometimes in-app tips? What is it that they are looking for? What kind of user is going to use it? And also tolerance to ambiguity. Depending on the education and background, some people will be able to manage a little bit of ambiguity, or they will be comfortable doing some trial and error, but not everyone. So that really depends what is the kind of background they're coming from. The terminology preference, okay, what kind of language do they use, what kind of jargons do they understand, and what kind of jargons you should avoid. If you are talking to a technical audience when you're writing for a software, we create a lot of softwares which are again consumed by software developers only. If you are talking to a developer but in the layman language, that also won't work. So using the technical jargons at just the right level, not too technical. So normally when we write the content, at many places we say that the language should be such that a person of grade 8 can understand, a child of grade 8 can understand. Yes, that is true. The language should be such that, but the terminology you'll have to keep in mind. And in fact, language as well. If you're writing for already, the researchers or someone who is at very advanced level and you're writing at a very basic level, that might not resonate. But yes, for a usual user documentation, we maintain that simple and clear language is the best language, and the jargons should be just at the level of the user you are writing for. And what is the success criteria for the user? Okay, what should be, whether it is a speed, it is safety, precision, simplicity, what is it that defines success for the user that you're writing for? So today we are going to do this example. Um, Here we will actually try to name, you can give a random name to a person who is going to use this Bluetooth headphones, maybe. Okay. So depending why this price is here. Now, depending on the cost, your audience might also change. If you're selling a headphone, you're writing for a headphone that sells for maybe under 1,000 rupees or within 1,000 to 2,000 range. The consumer will be different, isn't it? Who is going to buy a headphone that ranges between 1,000 to 2,000? We are starting this exercise, so I want you all to unmute and let's participate.
Well, depending on the usage of the person, it differs. So imagine um, a CEO wants to buy a headphone, then he will go for a good quality of headphone because he might need uh, clear, the clarity of the headphone should be good, the quality should be good, and he should have this noise cancellation, etc., etc. But a person who just want to listen to music and he doesn't need more of the functionality, then he will go for lower price headphone.
Yes, and it also depends upon sometimes the status and the budget of the person. So if there
Yeah.
is someone who is a student, might as well, who just needs to listen to the music or maybe attend some online lessons, will go for a price range of, you know, maybe from 1,000, around 1,000 plus or minus, right? Right. But at the other hand, someone who is already similarly, like you're talking about a CEO or a person who is, because the number of CEOs is comparatively less. We'll take an example, which is a more common scenarios, like we're talking 4,000 to 8,000 range. Who is going to use this? Someone who is a little technical, maybe uses the, loves technology like more. So it could be a software engineer, or someone who is already earning at a certain level. He is able to afford that much price. So depending on the background, on all these factors, we will define our um, or user persona. Okay. So first of all, tell me whether you're able to see this, or should I zoom it a little bit? Will that help?
Yeah, it's clear
Yeah,
actually.
it's better now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what we are going to do, and you'll have to. We also have an assignment around this. So let's do this one first, and then a similar exercise will be given as an assignment, and so that we all come to the same page. We see how much have we understood about this, and then we do the same exercise again tomorrow. Like we revise, like where we are and how are we doing it. So yes, so basic information. Um, we will define, we'll give the name to our user persona. That okay, this might be, you know, uh, be someone who is in this particular age. This will be the names. This will be the occupation, and what is the technical background. Intermediate. It could be advanced as well. If the person is software developer, it can be advanced as well, depending on again the range. If he's at 25, it could be intermediate, and maybe in the later stages of his career, it will be advanced. And then, where is the location? Where is he located? Mm, in some metro city. This is how we are going to do it. And then we will now come down to the goals and challenges. So if we are considering this particular product, what are the goals that user wants to achieve through this? I'm taking the daily life example so that we are able to do it easily. Okay. Um, that's why the headsets, we all have used them, right? So what is the main purpose? Listen to the music, podcasts during travels, right? Using headphones for video calls and meetings, like we are right now doing it. The person who is working, he's a software developer, he's probably working in a software industry, and he'll be using it for his video calls and meetings, and maybe for like us to attend some courses as well. What are the challenges and pain points? Discomfort with prolonged use. Okay. So how to solve that? What are the areas? So you have to, we'll keep all these challenges and pain points in our mind. And when we write the documentation, we can address those issues somewhere. Okay. Connectivity issues in crowded areas, how to deal with that when where there are a lot of Bluetooth devices, how to help him resolve and connect to his device automatically or easily. Ambient noise interference during calls. If he is sitting among other colleagues, or maybe he's at home, he's working from home, there are kids in the background, there are other noises in the background. He wants, noise cancellation and all those things. So that is also one of the challenges and pain points. What is the experience and training? What is the background? What is the background that we are in, prior experience and the training needs? How much training does that person require? What is the familiarity of that person? So when you're talking about, if you give this same Bluetooth device to maybe an elderly person somewhere who is in their 60s, he might not be able to use that, and you'll have to give a different kind of instruction to that person, right? Or he might not have that prior experience. But when we are considering this user persona, this person will have some background in using Bluetooth devices for his home devices. Smart TVs are there are headphones, there are other things, so he must have used these kind of devices already. The training need hence is a minimal, and you need very basic guidance on advanced features. But still, those things will be covered to an extent. So this will all depend on the focus, how we are going to focus on the user. Then you have environments of use, where they are going to use this particular environment. What kind of documentation do they prefer? How will they try to solve the problem? So these days you have applications attached to Bluetooth devices, and the documentation will be given sometimes within the application. You can see the in-app tips and everything, and there will be a separate online documentation as well. There will be troubleshooting tips. So what is their documentation preference? Would they like and go back to their box in which the packet in which they received and take out that small documentation that comes along with it, or would they prefer a digital documentation? So that needs to be defined depending on the product, depending on the user, right? And next is, what kind of constraints do they have? They're very busy people. They have meetings back to back. They have to switch from one system to another very frequently. So all these things are the constraints. They are language-wise, they do not need any problem. They do not have any problem. Usually English will be fine. And yeah, accessibility needs, that really depends, of course. Most likely not in this case. User behavior, engagement with the documentation, how they are going to engage, whether they like a quick documentation or a detailed manual. What are their learning styles, step by step? In this case, because he's a software engineer that we have defined, so he would love to have the clear documentation where he can be helped with along with the visuals, and the tolerance to ambiguity will be moderate. He can manage a few things because he's at a certain level, technical level, but again, at the same time, lot of ambiguity, of course, that doesn't help anyone. So terminology preference, straightforward, but basic technical guidance will work for him. And what is the success criteria? It's like seamless audio experience if he's going to get that, and he's going to get that information from your documentation. That's the success criteria for him. Comfortably, he's able to use his product for a longer periods without causing any discomfort, without experiencing any kind of disconnectivity. So this is how we are defining our user persona. And this is usually a one-time exercise, but you have a good idea about your user whenever you are getting stuck with some kind of question, like how should I give this particular information? Where do I keep this information? Or how do I structure my document? If you come back to this document and if you come back to see what your user is going to refer to, how he's going to refer to, where he will be able to find that information, you'll be able to answer all the questions through this background activity that you have done just once for a particular product. Okay, so this is what a user persona is all about. Any questions related to this?
So should we do this activity for is it specific for software technical writing, or is it a common uh, thing that we have to follow before we write any technical
Document. So like I was saying that no one will come and ask you to do this. Okay. So when normally in software industry, if you're there, it will be like they will be just assigning your task that document this product. For them, it's just this much. A product team will ask you to document a particular product or a particular feature or update something, right? But if you have done this homework, this is for the effective documentation. Like we were discussing all these criterias, clarity, accessibility, user focused, and consistency, and all these things. How will we define all these things? What is the foundation of that particular thing. What is consistency? What is a particular, what will sound like a technical jargon to a person and what will not? Okay, how will you define that level? Okay, so if you have this particular thing in the background, it will help you decide all those factors. What kind of documentation is going to help, right? All these things will define. I would say it's not like it is only done in the software, like we were just discussing. It is done at the product level, it is done at the marketing level, and it should be done in the documentation level as well. Okay, why? Because focus of all these things, like why we are creating the product, we are creating the product to solve users problem. Why are we doing the marketing? Marketing, we are again doing to solve a particular business problem, and that's why we are defining the target audience in everyone. So here also, again, this will not be done like as an activity where someone will ask you to create a user persona. They will not ask you to create a user persona. They will ask you to create a documentation. It is up to you that how do you want to, how seriously do you want to do this documentation activity, and how successful you want to be. And if you do this particular thing, if you define your user persona, it will help you answer questions that you might get stuck with while documenting your features. Okay. Yes. Do I answer? I have. Any other question?
I want to ask you, Jyoti, like how long this session you have planned for today?
Yeah, we are just about to finish. We are about to finish. Otherwise, I had planned it till 1 o'clock, but I think we will just wind it up today here. After this, I'll be just giving this exercise and we'll be done.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything else? We are clear about the user persona. Are we ready to do an exercise on this? Soumya, Priyanka?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. All right, nice. Okay. So now we will be shifting back to our presentation, and now this is okay. There was one more thing that I was actually planning. So this is the exercise. This you have to do by yourself. I will be sharing. I'll just share the template with you all here, and you can keep a link of this particular thing. Just a second. Just check if you can access this particular document so that you're able to do the exercise, and take a screenshot of this exercise as well, so that when we meet tomorrow, please check if you have access to this document and let me know.
Yes, we can access. I can access.
Okay, nice. Take a snapshot of this exercise as well, and let's try and create a user persona for a fitness tracker app. I think most of us might have used it. If not, you can easily download and see, or just imagine what is a fitness tracker app where you actually try how much workout you have done, how consistent you have been, how many kilometers you have run or cycled, or what all activities you have done. Okay, so that's a fitness tracker app, and let's create a comprehensive user persona around that app, like who will be using that particular app, what are the needs, preferences, and challenges of that particular person, what does the success look like for that person, what are the things. We can brainstorm it a little bit here. If someone wants to contribute, share, start, who will be the person who is using the fitness tracker? First of all, you'll have to define the profile. And similarly, I will be giving you the template. I have given you the template. If you're able to access that, you'll be able to see what all things need to be defined. And you have to create the same document for a fitness tracker app, like I've done it for the headphones. All right. Are we good? And with this, I was thinking that these sessions we can end with some editing exercise, some insights about the language, about the general technical writing part, the real technical writing part. Okay, so that that also you start keeping in your mind while you're writing the documentation. So right now we are going from scratch, literally starting from the user analysis, and the product analysis we'll be doing tomorrow. But before, along with all these things, how to do the research, how to do this user analysis and all these things, I think for most of you, Joby, look, whatever you're writing these days, it will help you exercise these particular concepts as well. So I just thought that we can quickly review this particular excerpt from one of the software documentations, which is the Copilot chat, very common these days in software industry. And this is the documentation from the GitHub Copilot chat actually, and you have to review this part. So any observations, just read through and share if you have any observations around this. You can look for what kind of headings they have used, what kind of language they have used, what can be done better, basically, to make this documentation more effective. Are we on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'll give you a few minutes and you can read through. Yes. Anything, anyone?
Should we finish that persona now, or
No, persona is to be done later. Like persona will be, you can do at in the daytime or before we join again tomorrow. Persona can be done later.
Okay,
We
right
are
now
on this exercise.
we
Yeah.
are
Yeah. We'll just discuss quickly this one, this exercise. That will take a little bit of time. The persona thing will take a little bit of time.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. So we can just read through this one and see how can we make this particular thing better. This is the actual documentation of Copilot chat, GitHub Copilot chat. It is available online. And there are a few things that I noticed, and that's why this I'll be bringing these kind of examples so that we can really see, start looking at the documents more critically, not just the other documents, but our own work as well. So it's just an exercise to mentally, train our mind so that we start thinking in these directions.
So basically, we have to spot out the errors from our end. We can spot it.
Yes, errors, because sector improvement areas, you can call them, and whatever things you can do with this from the structural perspective, from the heading perspective, from the language perspective, what is it that can make this better for the user who is coming to this? And also nowadays, a lot of users are coming via AI. Okay, so we will touch upon that as well a little bit, like how to write the documentation from that perspective as well, so that it really helps even the AI bots get the information in the most. So it will be both. Yeah. Point out whatever you can right now. Okay, I will help a little bit. So what is it that we are trying to answer here? Or what is it that user will be coming looking for? What is the problem being solved here?
How to use Copilot or how Copilot can be helpful.
But there is a subset.
Yeah.
There is a particular information about the Copilot, because how to use Copilot is a very vast thing, right? There is a smaller part that we are trying to answer here.
So Copilot is an AI tool, and Copilot code completion is kind of a feature, added feature. A chat. It is a chat feature, but provides logical and code features. Basically, we can ask questions related to coding. Uh,
Yes.
like just like Chat GPT has multiple features to explore. Similarly, Copilot. That's what I'm assuming.
Yes. So is it too advanced, the topic? First of all, I would like to get that feedback. Is the topic too advanced, so that I keep it in mind in next time?
No, no.
Is it fine
This
for
is a
everyone?
real world example, so it will help us to understand the real world documents.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Anyone else who thinks that this is little too advanced for starting? Jaya
Well,
Rahman.
yeah, well, I'm not from related to software, so I could not grasp exactly what exactly it is. So I was just, for me,
Yeah.
it is maybe it's a little higher than what is to be shown, like for class one or as an introductory session. So
Yeah, I could sense that. Yes, I can sense that. Yes. Okay. Okay, I'll take that feedback. But yes, so here you do not really need to go into the technical details of this thing. Okay, you just think that if we, I'll just give you the right thing. Okay, यहाँ पर, let me give you that right direction. You do not really need that technical thing here. So if I say while Copilot code completion and Copilot chat share some functionality, so we are talking about two things here. So just replace that Copilot code completion and complete Copilot chat while X and Y share some functionality. The two tools are best in different circumstances. Okay, so what are we doing? What is, so just uh, forget about the technical details. You do not really need to review it from the technical point of view. That's what I'm trying to tell. Okay, what we are doing is we are trying to read the documentation, just look at them as two features, and that's what we are talking about. What these features are doing, what they're not doing, leave that aside for now. Just see what is the heading, choose the right Copilot tool for the job. While Copilot code completion, while X and Y share some functionality, the tools are best in different circumstances. What are we doing here?
uh,
We are,
we are like sharing the differences between the Copilot code completion tool and Copilot chat tool.
yeah,
So these
so
are
we,
two tools, but they are not well defined. Like the sentence while Copilot code completion and Copilot chat, there must be some references about what is Copilot code completion and what is Copilot chat, I guess.
yeah. So that might be there in the documentation, the real documentation, because this is just a chunk. What I want you to, like you said, it is talking about the difference of X and Y, right? X feature, Copilot code completion, Y feature, Copilot chat. That is what
Yeah.
we are talking about. That is what the main problem is. So
Yes.
we, right. So now let's just see. Look at the topic. Look at the headline. Choose the right Copilot tool for the job. If we look at it from the user perspective, will the user come and look or maybe search in the documentation which is the right Copilot tool for the job for whatever he's doing? He will not be looking like it at it like that. If at all he has to look for the information, he'll ask what is how is Copilot code completion different from Copilot chat? You understand what he will be asking, what question, what problem he's
Yeah.
facing, isn't it?
Or that person can also ask how to use Copilot code completion.
How to
Uh,
use Copilot chat, how to use Copilot
yeah,
code completion, right? So these will be the
yeah.
basic questions. So I'm assuming that they have already addressed to this. They have already defined code completion. They have already defined complete Copilot chat. I'm just assuming that. I
Okay,
don't know that it is there.
okay.
But yes, that should be defined. And then the difference should be discussed. So what should be the title? Is it the correct title that is given here? Choose the right Copilot tool for the job? Or it should be
No, it
something like
is.
difference between the X and Y.
It should be difference between.
Hmm. Jairam.
And if it is like choose the right Copilot tool, then the job should also be defined for what job they are specifying. Like
Yes. Hmm.
like for
It's not
coding,
clear.
or what is the purpose of the Copilot tool. So they have to
Abs.
define.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Jairam, you were saying something? You're absolutely correct. So I can't hear you. Are you saying something?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Now the sound is there.
Yeah, okay. So what I was telling is, as Soumya rightly said, that they have just given the comparison or functionality of two different codes here, and the title is also wrong here. So it's like you are giving an option to them to choose the right, but it's not
Right.
the right title we would say. So
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yes. So that is what I was saying. So do not go into the technical details. You can still make out a few things like what and how should the information be presented in the right way. Priyanka, are you there? Are you following us? If you're facing any difficulty, you can openly ask. All right, let's move on. Code completion works best for completing code snippets. So, like I said, the title should be different, and the difference, the where we are starting the difference, that statement line should also be very clear that we are going to talk about the difference between the two tools, like where one thing is working best. Now let's come to, oh, okay, not a problem. I hope you're able to follow the most of the things. All right. Um, so it was for Priyanka. I think she's facing some network issues. All right. All right. Thank you. Completing code snippets, variable names, and functions as you write them. Generating repetitive code. Code completion works best for these things. That's what how they are writing. Um, Generating code from inline comments in natural language, generating tests for test-driven development. Now, these are a bit of technical things, but what we can make out here is, let's look at it from the language perspective again. Um, let's come to the second heading. Alternatively, Copilot chat is best suited for. The term alternatively is usually used when something can be used as a replacement of the other, right? While here we are actually comparing the two different things altogether. They do, like they said, they have some common functionalities, but there are differences. So we are talking about the differences. So alternatively, I believe, is not the right term here. Okay. And what could be the better way of presenting this information? We are comparing two things here. So what is the best way of comparing two things, X and Y? We have been doing it since childhood, so this is nothing new that we are
To
doing.
create a tabular form.
Yes. So rather than listing them as a point, it would have been better to create it as a table, okay? Or maybe accompanied with some images as well, some snapshots as well, so that it's clear that what kind of operations can be done with X and what kind of operations can be done with the Y. Okay.
And we can also choose some parameters to define the differences.
Yes, that can also be done. For example, what kind of operations you can do with this. So if you say operation can be one criteria, operations, code completion does this, Copilot does this, right? So
Definition, example, or any sort of feature, technical, non-technical, anything, any parameter can be. There are many
mm,
parameters. So
yes, depending on the tool, we can do that as well.
yeah.
So yeah,
I
I
have
will
one
not.
question actually.
Yes, sir.
Like since Copilot code completion and Copilot chat, since I have learned that technical writing is also very case sensitive when we write about any feature. See, you can observe like Copilot chat in that C is capital, but in Copilot code
Code
completion,
completion.
the
Yes,
C is not capital. Why? Because this is
exactly.
a feature, right? So we
Hmm.
can define it in a way that it's scannable, actually.
Hmm. Hmm. So it's also about consistency and other things. So depend
Yeah,
करता है कि
consistency
how this
basically.
particular feature, I have not used this feature live, but how this particular feature has been introduced. Sometimes when it is the user interface. Okay. So if the Copilot chat is a separate user interface and it is the name of the feature, you're giving Copilot chat as like both of them are in uppercase and doing it like that. Okay. While Copilot code completion could be something where there is not a particular UI or something, but it is being done in a different way that I will check and I'll get back to you on this. But it looks like some of the features are inbuilt, right? They do not have a
Yeah.
UI to do this. So that is being done while you're writing the code. So code completion could be a feature, but not a UI. In that case, you can simply write Copilot code completion like they have written. Okay.
Okay.
And Copilot chat definitely seems to be a UI thing. So it is correct for them to use that uppercase here. I'm not sure
Yeah.
about code completion. I don't think there is a separate window or there is a separate dialog box or there is a separate, user interface for
If it is was
code.
a dialog box, then it should be written under apostrophes, right? Uh,
Mm,
so that double quotes or like single quotes. I mean.
yeah. No, 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 no. We really that really depends on the style guides that company is using, but usually we won't use that. We'll simply bold it if it is the part of user interface.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it depends upon the style guide, like what style guide, what standard we are
Is being
following.
used. Yes, but
Okay,
usually we
okay.
just simply put bold. We do not put quotes around the dialog boxes,
Okay, okay.
the names of the dialog boxes. Yes, I
So
hope.
when we will be covering all the punctuation part, we can cover these things on that part as well.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. But as I said, that eventually it will only depend upon the style guide that your organization is using. But we will talk
Yeah.
about standards,
Okay,
right?
thank you.
Yeah. Yes. I hope Jairam, you could catch up a little bit because we were talking a little more in detail. And but yes, my focus was on language and other things. That help.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So I will not go in more details. The user interface, everybody knows, I hope, the UI and other things. If there are any technical terms that we might spill out or I might spill out while talking, do ask the question. Do not hesitate. All right. And yeah, so that is it for today. And if you have any other questions about this career stream or about the course or about anything, I think some of you have not really gone through the course contents. I think Priyanka as well as Jairam has. I had shared a document, I believe, with Jairam has gone through that. I'm not sure about Priyanka. I don't think we have communicated before.
I had gone through it. You had shared
Yeah,
that
yeah,
with
Soumya,
me.
yeah, I know about, of course. Soumya is there, so I know that you have already know about this. Jairam and Priyanka have not really gone through this, as far as I remember. So I just thought that I will, if you have time, we can discuss. Otherwise, maybe yes. Jairam and Priyanka, I want to hear from you. So
I
I
will
will,
go. I will go through it today.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So I'll just brief a little about it and then we'll wind up completely. So this is more about what we are going to cover in this course. These red portions are not there. One of the documents I had already shared with all of you on LinkedIn. Priyanka might not have that. You can ping me and I will share the same with you as well, or just say hello on WhatsApp or LinkedIn, wherever, and I'll share that document as well with you as well. So we are going to, as we are doing, we already started with the target audience group, and we'll also be talking about the context where we learn about the product analysis and how does it work in software industry. Like we will talk more about how the code is launched, how the builds are shared, and how can you use that product in you know uh, your product research. So that's what our next topic is going to be. We are going to learn how to plan your documentation, how to create TOCs, how to structure them internally, topics, how to structure different kind of topics. You have user guides, you have quick start guides, you have concept topics, you have task topics and reference topics. All these things we are going to do. How to plan a documentation, like when we start with the product, and then the same stands for the features as well for the updates. We're going to talk about the workflows, like how it happens in when a new product is launched, how the workflows go, and when a new feature is added. So you already have a documentation, a new feature has been added, a new change has come, and how do we go about that? Mm, we will talk about technical content writing, more details about where to use, which kind of what kind of headings to use, what kind of documentation aspects like paragraphs, notes, cautions, where to use what. Every detail, it is going to be there in the course. And yes, visual communication, how to decide where, what are the factors that you should be keeping in consideration while creating the visuals, and how to place them in the documentation. All those things are also going to be covered here. Then a lot of content we are creating from globalization perspective, from the translation and localization perspective. So how to keep that in mind? What are the term bases? What are the factors that you should be considering while writing for the translation teams? That will be a larger part. Okay. Then you have standardization and structuring. How do we use single sourcing? How do we standardize our content through data? I think that part some of you, I think Jairam has already done, and will be able to help us out as well with that. Other things are how to how to do the quality assurance for your own content, for peer reviews, for if you're doing it for the team. Editing, a lot of details around editing. What is the clear and concise writing? Everything around that. That was the part of technical writing part, of course. And yes, we will be doing a little about publishing, because publishing and distribution, because this course was written for someone else. And yeah, and then there will be final project and wrap up. So we will be talking mainly about the electronic media, like the online helps mostly, because that's what is trending right now. But yeah, if PDF and other formats are also there, so we'll not talk much about that, mainly. And then we'll be doing the final project and wrap up as well. And we will be doing all these things along with the lot of activities and um, exercises around this, like we did today. And I hope you will be doing this exercise tomorrow, and we'll be then discussing. Tomorrow, we are planning to do create some empathy mapping, so that we better relate our user personas to the documentation, and we try to answer some of the questions. So that is what it is going to be. And then gradually we'll move to product understandings as well, like how to do the product research, how to understand the context. Yes. So these are the things that we are going to talk about, the CMS and things. Any other questions? And then we can probably wind it up for today. All right. Thank you so much. That is it from my end. And if you have any questions, you can type to me directly, ask here directly. And yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for today, Jyoti. It was a nice introduction session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. So as I said, this was not much of the introduction. I have actually started the course itself, because I had committed that way and I had planned that way. I did not want to linger it on. So I would say that it was not more of the introduction about the course. It was the beginning of the session sessions itself. I hope it helped make that ground for you guys. And those, I think Soumya is already in. Jairam, if you want to know more about the course and the cost, we can connect separately. And yeah, as I said, there will be an offer for the people who are closing it today. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for joining in and listening to me so patiently. I will also be sharing probably a feedback form, or if you want to give it like that, you're very, very, very welcome to share your feedback here itself. It's just
Yeah,
few of
so
us.
basically the interaction was very nice. So, and you worked really hard, and you are saying that I am listening, but actually you are also speaking for so long. So, and your teaching skills are really great. I really admired the way you give us examples and gave us real world examples. So that was really good for all of us, I think.
Thank you. Thank you, Soumya. Thank you. Jairam, anything that you would like to share? And of course, there will be things that will be maybe redundant for you because you're already a technical writer, and maybe a little difficult as well from the software perspective. But yes, I do appreciate that you stayed with us and listened to me throughout and participated as well and contributed to the discussion. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I am on mute because my kids are kids have come here and it will be a
No problem.
background
No
noise.
problem.
But
Yeah, no
thank you
problem.
for now. Yeah, I'll ping you in WhatsApp if I need to connect with you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Jairam. Yes. All right. So we see you tomorrow. All right.
Then have a nice day. Bye.
Yeah.
Have a
Have a
nice day.
wonderful have a wonderful day, and do that exercise so that we can discuss it tomorrow. Okay. The user persona thing.
Sure. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.